So you picked the most controversial pro-lifer in Knoxville, right? The end is you cannot like me. You cannot give me the time of day
Yep.
to be able to let you get to know me because I'm actually a lovely person.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I am. I
Yeah.
know that I am. I know that I say mean things sometimes, but
Is it mean? Is the truth mean?
No, but it's not even mean. We have flesh. I have flesh moments, right?
Absolutely.
And so I'm not going to say that I'm perfect and that I don't say things that ruffle feathers or someone cannot like me for me. That's okay.
Absolutely.
But most people don't not like me because of me. They don't not like me because they have formed an opinion about me and
Absolutely.
they won't give me the time of day because
Yeah.
I have like open door policy.
Okay.
If you disagree with me, we don't have to agree on everything.
That's true.
We do not have to agree. But what we do have to do is have conversations. What have we not, are we not learning from Charlie Kirk? Right? He had conversations and really, really hard ones, but he stood his ground and he stood his convictions. And my convictions are from the Lord. They're not because I want to be a mean person. I want to criminalize women. It's the most liberal statement of the pro-life movement, right?
Yeah.
Criminalize women. No, we want equal protection for babies. Let's do that, actually.
Right. What? And so I'm interested. I want to start by you telling me how you got involved in this, where all this passion comes from, right? Because you've got fire and brimstone. Today we're getting it.
And see, I can take the fire and brimstone, but I also want to be laced in love because
Absolutely.
Jesus was both. He was truth, and truth hurts sometimes.
It does.
But when you do it in a loving way where it's like, hey, I've sinned, you've sinned.
Mhm.
My sin is no different than your sin. My sin actually led to a death of a human. And so there is zero judgment that comes from me at all because who am I?
Sure.
Right? Who am I to say? But if we could get people to open their eyes and see past themselves or past the indoctrination of which they have learned, then goodness gracious, if people think I'm mean, I'll take it. That's not who I am, but people can do and say what they want to say.
Sure.
It's just truth is going to come out. And like I said, I have to meet my creator one day.
Absolutely.
And I want him to say, good job. Well done. Full servant.
Absolutely.
That's the goal.
Yes.
And so he has definitely ignited a passion and he's been teaching me. Right. Or if I care more about what my coworkers or my people that I work with, if I care more about what they think of me than what the Lord thinks and what his word says, then I'm in the wrong place.
So where did all the passion come from?
It's a really interesting,
because everybody eventually finds a topic that is right.
Well, yes. So first it starts with my story.
Okay.
So I did not grow up Christian. I was actually Jehovah's Witness until I was 4th or 5th grade. My parents left that cult, for lack of a better term. I have family there still, and it's heartbreaking.
Are you permitted to talk to them?
I was never baptized, so
Okay.
yes. Honestly, they know where I stand, and so they just stepped away from me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so when you grow up and follow a religion that doesn't have grace and has a whole lot of man, you're just scared of truth.
How did your story in the Jehovah's Witness affect where you're at with your positions today?
Yeah, so I guess I was always raised in the 90s, right? 80s and 90s. You were raised to be much more morally sound than now. And so my parents would always say, don't have sex before marriage, even though there wasn't like backing. So my fear was of man, right?
Right.
And I was a hormonal teenage girl who loved boys. And so I got into deep relationships and then just got myself into a lot of trouble there. And then I went off to college. I only applied to one college. I wanted to be in television. I wanted to be a producer.
What college did you go to?
Chapman University in Orange. And so I did not know the Lord. I had been introduced to Jesus and I had a definite experience with Jesus, but there was no discipleship. And so I often think of the story, and I really need to memorize it, but I often think of the story where Jesus warns about casting out demons, and without the discipleship, there more will come. And so I would never say that I worshiped Satan, but I didn't know God at all. And in fact, I never I never thought about God. That was just
Do you think
where
you
it
were
was.
more agnostic then?
No,
Or
just literally didn't even think about it.
just indifferent?
Didn't even, like, God would never come to my mind ever. I was just always able to do things myself, and I can look back and go, Lord he'd done all of that to get me exactly where I am today. But just, I didn't know. My parents didn't talk about religion. I remember going door to door. It just wasn't in my mind.
Sure.
I was way more concerned about my friends and way more concerned about boys and way more concerned about going and being successful in this TV career that I wanted, and I would have been, and I got there, but that's a whole nother story. So 18, living on my own, living in a dorm, I get pregnant and freaking out, of course, like any 18-year-old girl. My world is going to be ruined, and that's the narrative that we hear, and we heard it then too. If you get pregnant, it will ruin your life. But I knew my parents loved me, and I knew my parents would support me and help me, even though I would devastate them. I was the first to go to college in my family. And so that felt really heavy. So I figure I'm not going to tell them. I'm just going to go, because what do we know? Planned Parenthood fixes this kind of thing. And I'm just going to go. Well, in California, there was a 72-hour law where you had to go to Planned Parenthood. They did an ultrasound, and then you had like 3 days, right, until you can actually have your abortion. So
Okay.
again, never thought about this. Was just not things that I thought about. I was literally just in triage. I have this problem. This is what you do, because that's what the colleges tell you that you do, and culture tells you do. And then you just go and do it. And so I didn't have the money to my name. My boyfriend was not given a chance at all. He was a senior in high school. He was freaking out too. And so then we asked an adult that was close to me to help, and she did. And so when I went to my first appointment, before my appointment, I definitely had an encounter with the Lord. I just didn't know it at the time. I thought I was having a panic attack. I was getting ready and full on saw. I think of Look Who's Talking, the beginning of Look Who's Talking. I had that kind of experience where I'm like, I saw my baby. I know he showed me my baby. I didn't know it at the time. I knew what I was seeing, but I didn't know what he was doing, that the Lord was there. But Satan always comes in and deceives. And so I go to the appointment, and they do an ultrasound. They zoom way out on the ultrasound, so I don't even see what's on the screen. I don't even understand. And they're like, you're about 8 weeks. And I'm like, what are you looking at? And they showed me, and there was a little dot on the screen. She said, you're about 7 to 8 weeks. And so I didn't understand what they were looking at. So I said, well, what are you looking at? They showed me. I've seen so many ultrasounds now. I know what they have done, but I couldn't even see them. Oh, we caught it in time, right? Instant relief. And they were so kind. It was a very welcoming environment. They were so kind. And so I felt peace about it. And so I go back, I want to say it was like Thursday or Friday. And then I go back on a Monday. I remember it explicitly because I had my math final that evening. And they told me, it should be fine to go to your math final. It should be fine. Well, I was not fine. So I go, and a completely different feel. So it's abortion day. So there's hustling, there's fast pace. And honestly, nobody made eye contact with me. There was not that welcome feeling. There was not that helpful feeling. I do not remember her face, but I remember one nurse was very kind. And so they go in, they drug you up, you go in, you hear all the sounds, you experience the pain, and then they throw you in the recovery room, sitting on just a chair. I remember passing out, weird dreams, all sorts of things. And when I left, they just kind of shuffle you out. I had transportation. They push you out the back door, went home, and went to sleep. And just the instant loss, but I couldn't put words to it. I didn't understand what was going on. In reality, if you would have said, what are you doing? I would have just said, well, I just don't want to be pregnant anymore. I did know what I was doing, but I didn't understand what was happening, how the procedure really worked, and all that kind of thing. And so that really is my heart now, is like, how do we get to the teenagers so that they can see what this looks like? And what's hilarious, it's not hilarious, it's like funny, ironic, and upsetting, is that adults want to protect kids so much that they don't want them to see it. Like, they don't want me to show an animated version of what an abortion looks like. And it's there's blood and things like that, but it's not gory. Sure. But it is the truth. And so,
will you share that animated version with me?
It's on Live Action website,
okay.
And they do an incredible job of educating. There's so many videos and debates, and they do a great job.
Send me a link to that. Be interested to
see. I can say that Concord was brave, and they let me show it last year.
To
high school
science class, or
the whole high school in Chapel.
Oh wow!
They were super brave. They put it out to the parents. They told parents, like,
sure,
this is a video that we're showing. You can opt out.
Do you know how many opted out, or what percentage?
Not many.
Wow. Mm-mm. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Are you going to do it again this year?
I haven't been asked to, but I would. I'm going to speak to the high school.
Holly?
No, the high school or church.
Oh.
And middle school. Concord.
I can see a face. I can't think of a name.
Caleb?
Yeah.
Yes, Caleb. And I told him about the video, and I've had churches not have me show the video, but still allow me to speak and to be truthful about the abortion pill. Maybe not what it does. They don't want me to go into that, but be truthful about how often women are faced with abortion, even here in Tennessee, where it's supposed to be illegal.
Did I hear correctly that there is a reverse pill?
So that's what we're going to be doing at Alliance a lot. Okay. In fact, one of our clinics has one of the number one provider of the abortion pill reversal in Wisconsin. Wow. So that's all these billboards that were cute babies from Right to Life are switching over to abortion pill reversal. Do you regret your abortion? And how to get the pill. And what's so cool is that the Lord put one block behind our center or our clinic. Yeah.
That's amazing. So how did you go from having an abortion and feeling that pain to now being with Alliance? There's a big gap in there, right?
Well, gosh, let's see. How old am I? So there's 25 years almost, right?
So a day or two.
And so the Lord is so sweet. I wanted to get involved. So in my healing process, I found the Lord. I remember hearing the gospel, going to the bathroom, and uncontrollably crying in this really tiny little church in which I didn't know my boyfriend's parents that well. And I'm like, oh my gosh, they think that I'm a weirdo. But of course they were rejoicing that I found the Lord. And so just wrecked. And even though I accepted Christ's forgiveness, even though I knew I was saved, I held on to the unforgiveness of my actions. And so fast forward a few years, I have a son, and then life goes on. And then I get pregnant with Oliver. And you have kids, so you know this. They usually don't do an ultrasound until much later. Mm-hmm. And with Oliver, they did an ultrasound at 8 weeks. And so I put my ultrasound picture on the refrigerator. I'm doing my life. And then we have Oliver, so excited, but then I go into postpartum depression, and it was hard. Yeah. It was really, really hard because people don't help you with the second the way they help you with the first.
That is a fact.
And it's so much harder with the second. And
well, the second is always a terror, at least in my house.
God,
it was. My first one's so sweet. What has happened here?
What? Because if the first one wasn't sweet, you wouldn't go for the second
one.
That's true. The Lord knew that.
Yes, he did.
He knew.
I can only protect you once.
Right, exactly. So I'm sitting at our kitchen counter, which was right across from the refrigerator, at a galley kitchen. Sitting there, and I look at the ultrasound, and then I look at my 6-month-old son. And then I look at the ultrasound, and it hits me in a level that it never hit me before. It's like I killed my baby. And that realization led me down an even deeper hole. But God, I got, not long after that, maybe a few weeks, maybe a month, I got a letter, because our church was so small. They sent letters to every member and said, if you've had an abortion, we are doing a Bible study called Forgiven and Set Free. Wow. And contact this person. We want to help you.
Was this in California? Wow.
Mm-hmm. And so it was about 16 years ago. Wow. 16 years ago. And so I did that study and my life changed. My life was completely different. And so my relationship with the Lord was different, because when you can fully understand that, like, you holding on to unforgiveness for yourself is actually putting you above the Lord, like your God, it will change your view of everything. And then understanding what true grace and mercy actually looks like, that I'm going to meet my Savior one day, guaranteed that I'm going to meet my baby one day. I long for that. I look forward to that. I'm loving my boys, but they know that they have a sibling in heaven. And so there's a hope. And I think of Peter, right, when he says, have an answer for the hope that you have. Like, that's, I think, where my passion comes from. So I wanted to get involved in pro-life ministry, work at Pregnancy Center in California, but I was running businesses and I was doing all these things. And then we moved here. And so when we were looking here, when we came to visit, my husband wanted to get involved in anti-trafficking in California, in that kind of nonprofit world. And I wanted to get involved in something pro-life. So we come to visit, we go to a church, and they show videos of two ministry partners, Deeper Still, which is abortion recovery, an incredible ministry, and Street Hope Tennessee, an incredible anti-trafficking organization here in Tennessee. And so we got involved in Street Hope together. They were building a house and doing all that. So I spent so many years doing that. But the Lord was training me. He was training me for what I would do now. And so it went from there, and then the Lord took everything away. And not in a bad way. He's just like, you're not going to be there anymore. You're not going to work your full-time job anymore. Your kids that you're homeschooling, they're going to go to full-time school, and you're going to have all the time with me. I spent 5 to 6 hours some days just in the Word, because I didn't have anything else to do. All distractions were taken away, but the Lord would just train me. Every place he trained me. I did network marketing for 10 years, super successful in that. That's why we were able to move to Knoxville. And he trained me in that, how to work with people, how to fundraise. I was in sales, all these different things. I owned a brick and mortar fitness studio before that. And so I've done full build out. I'm really good at layouts. I'm really good at design and things like that. I didn't do any of that in school. I was a film major. So the Lord just put me in all these different positions to train me for this exact moment in time. And so many nonprofits will say, you're going to go to things and you won't be equipped, but the Lord's calling and he will equip you. I don't think that isn't true. I think that definitely is true. But in this instance, I feel like he's fully equipped me. I know that there are things that I do not know that I do not know, but he will bring those things to mind. He will train me in those. He will bring people. I have zero doubt, because I'm like, I'm in my zone now. And I can't even take credit for it, because he's doing it all, that I literally go, he's being so obnoxious about it that he doesn't want me to take credit. And so I'm like, let's go, Lord. I love that. That's exciting. I believe that a clinic in Lenore City was put on other people's lives. I believe that calling was maybe offered to other people, because he wants it so bad, and it's already so far along that I just walked into it and everything came, where I'm like, I bet in the last 20 years, people were called to this and didn't do it. And the reason, and that just came to me this morning, because the reason why I think that is because hearts have already been prepared. Churches are already ready. There's volunteers. There's people willing to donate. It's the perfect location. You have Farragut right on the other side of the line. You've got tons of retired people that care about life just over the river. There's so many things where it's like, but you have all these people in this growing city that need support and need help. And it's traditionally seen as a place where there's a teen pregnancy is a problem. And so, well, let's go in and educate first. Let's educate these kids truly on what happens when you have sex with someone, right? There is an emotional bond. You are bonded to that person forever. So do you really like them that much? Let's be honest. Do we really like them that much? And just like the honest truth, but also serve the community really, really well, and share the gospel with everyone that walks in the door. And
So have you gone to North City High School or anything like that?
No, not yet. Are you kidding? I haven't even had time.
Ah,
It's only been 5 weeks. It's crazy. My list of people to reach out to, contact, and to connect with. I'm literally in defense a little bit, in a bad way. But like so much
trying to play catch up.
People are just like, hey, have you talked to this person? Hey, have you talked to this person? So many people have reached out, and I don't even know how they got in touch with me. They're like, hey, somebody told me that you're doing this, so I got your email somehow. They don't even remember how they got my name. And we sit down, and I'm like, well, it's the Lord. So let's talk, and let's see how we can work together.
So what is the clinic? What is its mission? Where's it going to be? Are there other locations?
So yes. So Alliance Family Services is the organization I chose to partner with. And the reason I did is because, one, I'm patient. I don't want to do my own thing. I don't want to recreate the wheel. I don't want to wait a year and a half for a 501c3. People get impatient with that too. We lose donors that way. But the other thing is that my friend and her husband run this organization. I've known them for many, many years. I know that they are highly gospel-centered people. They do not compromise on their faith. They do not compromise on God's word. And those are people I really wanted to be mentored by, work under. We have this time last year, Alliance had 3 women's clinics in a mobile unit and what we call Hope House, which is a maternity home. Now we are at 10 clinics, not including me, and not including Fargo, North Dakota, which is also fully funded and ready to go. They just need people. So like at the end of this year, we should finish with at least 12 clinics.
So this is national. This is not just Tennessee.
National, yes. We have a Franklin clinic.
Franklin, Tennessee.
Okay. Which is very, very, very new. I'm like months.
Wow.
So very, very new. Getting our feet under us there. These are a bunch of people from Wisconsin starting a clinic in Tennessee. I mean, about 2 completely different cultures.
Yeah.
And so different laws, different everything. But they're very well connected in that community with a lot of influential people, but also just people that will come alongside them and love them and continue to lift them up in God's word. And so what happened and how Lenore City came to be and how this clinic came to be and how I said yes to this was that I was working at another center and people, awesome place, nothing but good things to say about them. But I hold a stance that is very unpopular in the pro-life movement, especially with pregnancy help organizations.
Which is
that I believe that abortion is murder and that anyone that participates in murder should be held liable for their decisions. That we should equally protect the baby in the womb like we would equally protect the baby that was born, put in a plastic sack, and thrown in a dumpster. We currently protect those babies very different. And so the mom is not held liable for her abortion, even in the state of Tennessee. So every single state in the United States allows abortion to happen because of this clause in the abortion laws.
What is the clause?
So it just says that like women are held liable. That's it. Like it's simple. Abortion is illegal. You cannot, after the providers. Actually seen that happen yet, but women are immune. Like there's women that choose to do this. So what we know is that every woman chooses to have an abortion. Every woman, except there are some cases that have come out where like a drink and then throws her into an abortion. There's even more horrific cases of other situations where that happens. And so of course that's not the woman's choice, right? Like, but men are being charged with murder. Now the woman drinks the same drink knowingly and she is not held liable. So we're not consistent in our rules or in our laws.
Was that in Tennessee or where was that?
That was in Texas.
Okay.
So also I want to say there's another one that was in Chicago area, but don't quote me on that.
Both times.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, think about it. Like it's that if a drunk driver hits a woman that's in a car, she's pregnant, they both die. It's 2 cases of manslaughter.
It would depend.
Yeah.
Like maybe vehicular
Right,
manslaughter.
right.
It depends. Was there premeditation?
Right, but it's 2 cases.
Was it the
right?
boyfriend that didn't want her pregnant anymore?
Right, yes. And that's the thing, like, our situation in Tennessee is that we know there have been over 9,000 abortions all through the pregnancy pills. Sorry, not the pregnancy pills, the abortion pills.
Have you guys contacted any lobbyists and or lobbied with Tennessee Congress people?
Yeah, so no, I mean,
Sure.
sorry, like, no.
Organization.
So on our board, we have a man named Bradley Pierce, and
Okay.
he's a lawyer, and so he runs a foundation to abolish abortion, and he is very active in these laws and these bills that are coming to pass. He writes most of them, and all that we're asking, and I'm not, like, when I say we, I mean, I'm not going and lobbying. I've got a job to do.
Sure.
Like, this is a distraction from the job that I have to do.
Sure.
But it does make me unpopular.
So, being unpopular,
yeah.
How did you decide that Lenore City is the place?
Oh, okay. I finished the story.
That's okay.
Okay. So a couple different, there's 3 different organizations that support pregnancy help organizations. So there's one that's like more minded. There's one that's like a pregnancy center. There's one that's like for and more at things like that. Just procedural, I guess. And 2 of the 3 came out with statements at the exact same time that stated that you cannot hold this view of equal protection or criminalizing women, as they like to say. You cannot hold the view of criminalizing women and work in a pregnancy help organization. You cannot do that. Well, I've been doing it for 1.5 years. I mean, I'm doing it for a really long time. So there were so many like logical and misuse scripture and things. I mean, I do that thing with like a fine-tooth comb. I'm like, how can you say that? Like, how can you say that? So I all these, and then a couple weeks later, my boss forwarded it to me in an email and said, "This is the stance of myself, our board, and our center. If you want to talk about it, that's fine." That was it. Like, that was email. So I read it, started like getting sweating and like freaked out a little bit. And so I called my friend Jenna, who holds the same stance that I do, runs very successful, organizations throughout the country, and is also looking at this going, this is not right. Why are we having this stance? And they're fighting that on their own. And I'm just like here trying to do a job. But I thought I was going to get fired. I did not get fired. She did not draw a line in the sand. The way the email came off was not how she meant it. But at time, before I figured that out, Jenna's like, well, let's just open a clinic together. And I'm like, no, I'm never doing that. I'm never doing that. Because I have said on several occasions, I don't want to run a pregnancy center because I don't think it's the answer to fix abortion. And I still hold that stance. It's not the answer, but it certainly is an answer to an individual mom's problem. And we can save babies. And I've seen it done and I've been a part of that. And so I kind of my thinking around it. Okay. And in between, the Lord like totally changed my heart.
We knew where the answer was.
Right. We knew where we were going, but she drew a line in the sand. She didn't mean it to come off that way. And so I kept working, but the Lord just kept going in my head. And then Jesse, my husband, would bring things up. And so one day I literally just looked at him and like, I'm not to take this opportunity, right? And he said, well, yeah, like I figured it out. And so he's so sweet. He lets me figure things out on my own. He does not tell me what to do. Sometimes I wish he would just tell me what to do. He was just being really sweet and letting the Lord work in my heart.
I love it.
He knew. He's like, I always knew you would be doing this. Like, I'm not surprised at all that we're walking this journey. Not at all. And I'm like, okay, well, could have like let me in on that. Like you told me. But so, the like December 2nd, yes, December 4th, a building coming up. We start looking at it.
Where's it at?
It's in Lenore City.
But where?
Oh, downtown Lenore City.
But where?
On A Street.
On A Street.
So it's an old building, 125 years old, really like quaint and small, which is all we need. I shouldn't say I don't believe in big pregnancy centers. I just think we have a different philosophy. I don't think anyone's right or wrong, but I would love to have really small centers in lots of areas to get to the community than like one really, really big. Again, cannot clarify enough. Do not think that that's wrong. That's just not the way my brain works. And so I was really excited. It's under 1,200 square feet. We're going to have a medical room. We're going to have a counseling room. We're going to have a place for our staff to eat lunch and we'll have a lab. We have 2 bathrooms, like reception area, shared office, all box checked. Great. And it's even like recessed from the a little bit. So it's like a little bit discreet.
Sure.
And it's going to be super cute. So I don't know how discreet it's going to be. But I want these women to feel like, I don't want them to feel like they're going to a free health center. Like
Sure.
I want them to feel like they're going to a high-class doctor. That
is it a free health center?
It is a free health center.
Okay.
But I don't want to feel like it's
absolutely
a free health center.
Completely understand.
Yes. It's completely free, paid for by people who have a heart for life and a heart for these women that are faced with this really hard decision.